H2O clouds submerged, that's a roller. Indicate locked and on sight when the nest came. Watch a nigga spray for separate words when the nest say. Did what we had to do, full for the sensei. Full body control, did whatever the sensei. Now our numbers together, shot up like the Kempe. Linked up with the Pops, the Don Perry, young way. Yeah, healing back at the olive tree. Two branches unchained like former parolees. Feet shy with the word cracking the concrete. Unity means an increase, that's how it should be. That's right, yeah. Blood thick in the water combined. We could build, call the Lord to heat up the mortars. Joshua 6 united, it's an all-out slaughter. The sons of Judah and Eve from all the sides of the altar.
Sis. And guess what? On the Sabbath day, the Lord has laws. This is a holy day set aside. Watch this. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So the Most High God says, remember, bethink yourself, right? Remember, 12 tribes of Israel, Sister Francis, that today is the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Read.
6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
So one of the ways to keep it holy is not do any work, right? So no mowing your lawn, no working at Food Line Rainbows, wherever you got a job at, right? Having that day off, right? Working out.
Why did they make Sunday that?
Why did they make Sunday that? Because it's a tradition of men. That's a lie that was taught to us by the same people that enslaved us. We'll get that later. I don't want to stray off the topic. We'll deal with that. But I want to deal with you because I don't want you to break the Lord's Sabbath day any more than you already have. Now, no working out. That's where you just came from the gym. Yeah, it's the Sabbath. It was on the Sabbath day, sis. So you got 6 days to get cut. You know what I'm saying? 6 days to do your reps. I don't know, you bench 220. I'm just messing with you. But like, you got those days to do all that and dog and all that stuff. But today is the Lord's day. This is one day He asks you set aside. He commands you set aside for Him.
Right.
Now,
right.
What else can't you do on the Sabbath day? That's one way to keep it holy. No work. So we got no work. Read.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31.
We're about to go purchase some food. Watch this.
And if the people of the land bring ware of any victuals.
Where are any victuals?
Where are any victuals?
Where? Silverware, hardware, cars, things and tools you use. Victuals, food items, water, things to drink, right? If they bring those things, right, to what?
On the seventh day.
On what day?
On the seventh day.
On God's holy day.
To sell.
To what?
To sell.
So if they try to sell you anything on God's day, what are you supposed to do, Sister Francis, as a holy sister of God? Read.
That we would not buy. That we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
It says, do not buy it of them on the Sabbath day. You can purchase it any time of the week. You can go get food and all that stuff like that. But God said on His day, you're not to be buying and selling. Get your gas before the Sabbath day. Get your food. If you got to get groceries, get it before the Sabbath day. Now, you didn't know that, so you didn't have time to prep. But sis,
That's my first time ever hearing it.
well, I guarantee you got some food in your refrigerator.
Yeah, I do.
So you can wait till you get home. You can wait till you get home. You don't got to go to the store and violate the Lord's Sabbath. I'll tell you right now, if you go do it, sis, you're going to be thinking about it at the drive-thru. You be like, dang, God said don't do this. You going to think about it at the buffet. Look, you going to be in there, Most High put, what He say? Right, hey, let's deal with it. Let's next part. So when you go home, because Lord willing, you go home and you don't go to the buffet because you fear the Most High God. Don't go to the buffet. This is what the Most High says about the food that you do eat on the Sabbath day. How you doing, my sister? We're going over laws of the Sabbath day. We just brought out no buying on the Lord's Sabbath day, no cooking, no selling on the Lord's Sabbath day. Well, no working. We're about to bring out no cooking, right? Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 23.
Hey, these seem like simple rules, right? These are rules. They're not hard, right? Okay, so it should be no excuse, right? Okay, read.
And He said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said.
Okay, so this is Moses speaking to who again, sis? Who are? Today.
Oh,
Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. How you doing, my sister? This is our history in the Bible. You find yourself on this sign? This is who God calls you. With God's chosen people. Read.
Tomorrow is the rest of the Holy Sabbath.
So He's telling them the day before the Sabbath of the Lord, which is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. You're in the midst of the Sabbath now. He's telling them the day before. What?
Tomorrow is the rest of the Holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seek that you will see. And that,
So sieve means boil. He says, bake what you're gonna bake today. Sieve, boil what you're gonna boil today. Cook what you need to cook today, because tomorrow is the Lord's Sabbath. What is he saying right there?
Prepare yourself for it.
Say it loud, sis. Say it loud.
You're not supposed to do anything on the seventh before your day of rest. No, it's nothing but necessary what you have to do to get up and get dressed. You don't cook or anything else on the Sabbath. That's the Lord's day.
Okay. We not saying, the Most High is not saying you just sit on the couch and don't do nothing. You know, you can gather together with believers. Right, but work, right? But he said not even cooking on the Sabbath day. Read.
and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning.
So if you want something to eat, like maybe you don't want to eat a salad or cereal or a sandwich. Maybe you want spaghetti or pizza or something like that on the Lord's Sabbath day. He said you cook that thing the day before and have it laid up for leftovers. You can eat it tomorrow, but don't heat it up. Don't start that microwave. How you doing, my brother? Don't set it on your windshield and let it heat up. I'm trying to be slick. Most I said don't do that. He said don't cook on my Sabbath day. Simple laws, right? We don't even gotta ask why, God. Why don't you want us to cook? No, just he said don't do it. It's a simple thing, is it not, Sister Francis? Sister Williams? Okay, brother Brandon? Okay, all praise. So Brandon Francis and Sister Williams. Right, these are easy things. It would be easy not to cook one day for the Most High God? Not to work one day? Right?
I'm in the army, bro. We work all the time.
Hey, that's a situation that you can try to work out later on. But I'm just saying, if you had the option right now, it's easy to not do, right? That's just not gonna work. All right. This is all the Lord requires you on the Sabbath day, sis. No buying, selling, cooking, working. Do his word, learn his word, study it, gather with like-minded individuals, and keep the commandments of the Most High.
That's right.
So that goes back to the buffet, right? You're not supposed to buy, number one, and you're not supposed to be cooking. So a buffet would break both of those. You understand that, right? You with me? Because even if you go home and eat, you can go home and eat whatever you want. Just don't cook it. So like he said, sandwiches, cereal, what else? Smoothies. It's tons of things you can eat. Just don't cook it, right? Or you cook it the day before. So now we don't go into a buffet or McDonald's or whatever the case and buy today because God says no cooking. Even if you didn't buy it, he said no cooking. You see what I'm saying? So don't go home and make hot dogs and hamburgers and things like that. Get something that's cold or already prepared yesterday. Come on.
Now that's all that comes with if you fear the Most High God. So what we're going over, y'all missed this part. We're going over the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. What's your nationality, my brother? Okay, that's nationality singular, right? You gave me 3. What's your father? There you go. Hey, guys, your numbers 118. What about you, sis? What's your nationality? Black. All right, all praise. So black, anybody West Indian, Haitian, anything like that, or just black, like American black? All right, all y'all happen to be from the same tribe. You're from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible. Now, why I asked about your father, there's no such thing as mixed in the Bible, right? If I get a seed, it's an orange or apple seed, and I plant it in China, it's going to grow up and be what?
Not a Chinese apple.
It's going to be apple. It's going to be an apple, though, right, sis? Right, if I plant it in China, it's going to be apple, right? It might look different because the soil is different, the environment is different, but it's going to be apple. If I plant it in Mexico, it's going to be what? It's going to be... I'm not saying it's going to be Mexican. Now, it's going to be an apple, man. It's going to be an apple. It might look different, but it's still apple. What I'm giving is a metaphor. The father carries the seed, right? So the woman would be, in this metaphor, she would be the soil. The seed gets planted in the woman, it grows up in the woman, and then it bears fruit, which would be the baby. It is still the result of the seed that came from the father. So you are black. You're light skinned, but you're black. All right? So watch this.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month and declared their pedigrees.
Let's read it again. This is the children of Israel, they gathered together in what?
Declare their pedigrees.
They declared their pedigree. What's a pedigree? A breed, right? Bloodline, right? Your stock, right? Read.
After their fathers.
What? Read it again.
Declared their pedigrees after their fathers, after their families.
Yeah, read it right.
By the house of their fathers.
So they declared their pedigrees, where their families came from, by the house of their fathers. So your bloodline, like we just explained, descends from your father.
That's right.
So guess what? That's why ain't no mixing. That's why if your father was an Israelite 2,000 years ago, all the kids that he had, those males that had kids, they all Israelites, all the way down to you, to you, to you. Right? So y'all all are from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
You all can relate somewhat to the slave trade, right? Because that's our history. I'm gonna hit a couple scriptures on that, because just to catch them up, because they didn't catch it. Don't run, sis. Don't run, because I feel like you're gonna run that buffet. I want you to get the fear of the Lord. So guess what? The Most High God is our people. And he told us this after he took us out of Egypt and gave us the commandments. He gave us a choice. He said, well, actually, he gave us no choice. He said, you can do this or you can suffer this. That's what he said. Read this. So first thing he told us, you can get blessed if you do what I say. I'm going to set you on high above all nations. I'm going to have you rule. I'm going to beautify you on the face of the earth. Every nation's going to be scared of you. You're gonna rule with power. That's what he said to the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans today. But if we don't, what did he say? 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So when he say don't cook on the Sabbath day, the voice of the Lord thy God is his commandments, right? His Bible. Don't cook on the Sabbath day. You say, I'm going to go cook on the Sabbath day anyway. Don't buy on the Sabbath day. I'm going to buffet because I want to, right? What the Most High say?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day.
Guess what? You got commanded today, Sister Francis, from the Most High God. What'd he say if you don't do it?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That is still in contract and still in play today. Your foreparents signed it, and guess what? You in that same covenant. So Most High said, if you get the commandment, don't buy, sell, cook on the Sabbath day. Don't work on the Sabbath day. And you decide to disobey it, you are now subject to the punishments of breaking my contract. You are now in the curses. Let's read on.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Now, as a race, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, do we do what God says? How many of y'all watch the BET Awards? All praises. That thing's straight filth. The things, men kissing men, women doing all types of whoredom, brothers rapping about drugs and murder. I ain't watching myself, but I'm just reading what I heard, right? Brothers doing murder and things like that. These are things that are prevalent in all our communities. We don't obey the Most High God. So that's why we are what?
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Who's in this ghetto's all behind these stores. Who's in them? People look just like you, look like you, right? Okay, where else? Well, hold on. Who's having a hard time getting a job in the city?
Criminals.
Right. It's criminals. You said criminals. Who's the criminals?
Bring it out.
You got a record, you just hard to get a
It's
job.
easy to get a record though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Easy to get a record, hard to get a job. That's a new little saying. All right, watch this.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
So who was in these fields in slavery? The tobacco fields, the cotton fields, the sugar plantations. This Tobacco Road, North Carolina. Bible Belt was where most of slavery took place, the antebellum South. Who was doing those things? Our ancestors. So who does it seem like God's talking to right now? Sound like He's talking to us? Let's make it a little more clear. 441.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
So we just was talking about this earlier. He said you're gonna have children. Because we multiply. We said you're not gonna enjoy them. Read.
For they shall go into captivity.
Because I'm gonna send them into slavery. They're gonna get taken from you and sold into another plantation. Your kid's not gonna enjoy childhood. You ain't spending time playing with your child because you're trying to prepare them for picking cotton. So master don't beat they back in. You trying to prepare them for shucking corn, wherever the master had you doing, right? Even today, you have kids, and guess what? You can't enjoy them because they go out and play. Next thing you know, bow. This little 6-year-old boy got shot by a Chinese dude because he was playing in front of his yard with a big wheel. Y'all heard about that in the news? That's big news. That just happened. This happened to our people. You can't enjoy it. You worry about your kids. You got to tell them, hey, when you go outside, make sure you stay away from the police. Make sure you stay away from that corner over there because you know they be over there. They be trying to harass you and this, that, and third. Hey, stay away from so-and-so over there because they dangerous. They might shoot you. Come in before dark because you know that, guess what? Little girls get kidnapped. Brothers get shot. Brothers get robbed in the neighborhoods we live in. That's not enjoying. You can't have joy in your kids. They barely don't have a childhood. They got to grow up fast. Some of them got to be parents at a young age. Read.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So black businesses, barely any. Hispanic businesses, barely any. Cursed will be the basket in the store. We can't barely save no money. We can't barely save up. Half of us can't retire. My grandma's like 77. She's still working. That don't make no sense. She's still working. Read.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the land.
So guess what? Curse will be the fruit of your body, right? Guess what? A lot of our children, they going through the curse right when they're born. They going through curse. We got ailments related to things we've done in our life, smoking cigarettes, doing drugs and things like that. That result in our kids being born with deformities, things of that nature. Our kids come out and then they get funneled through the school system. They tell your kids too active in school, so they giving them Ritalin. You know what I'm saying? Slowing them down, messing with his mind. Getting oppressed in the school to prison pipeline. That's our fruit. The fruit of our bodies is cursed. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it real. Inside our sister's womb, a lot of our children don't even make it out. Because the abortion rate in the black community is through the roof.
That's right.
It's through the roof. And they don't think it's murder. Talking about it's not a baby. Well, if you didn't kill it, would it grow into one? Then you murdering a baby, right?
Right.
That's common sense, right? But that's cursed in the womb, right? Go ahead.
Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out.
So my sister, I ain't gonna make you say your age out here, but I know you're an older sister, right? So what have our people, from the time you were young to the time now, have you not seen have our people really improved in our conditions? Not really, right? But we still marching. Why are we still marching? Why are we still filling the prisons? We're cursed from birth to death. The Most High set it up, 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
How we can fix it.
Therefore shall thy sin serve thy enemies.
So because we didn't want to obey the Most High God, he said, you don't want to serve me?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
I'm going to send enemies against you. You don't want to serve me? You're going to serve the white man. You don't want to serve me? You're going to serve the Chinese man. You're going to serve the Arab. You're going to work for the so-called African, because we're not the same people. We're different. We look alike, but we're not the same.
Right.
You're going to serve all these other nations, and they not going to treat you as good as I treated you. They not going to set you on high, exalt you, tell you who you are, care about the welfare of your household and your children.
Right.
They going to treat you like crap on the job. They going to treat you like crap in the streets. They going to shoot you in the streets. They going to kidnap you. They going to sell you off to different places. They going to make you, a lot of our brothers work in prison as a slave in prison. To your old age. They're going to do these things. Because you didn't want to serve me, that's the people I'm going to put you on to read.
In hunger.
For your food.
And in thirst.
For your drink.
And in nakedness.
For your clothes.
And in want of all things.
For anything you want in your life, any basic necessity, anything, you had to serve in slavery. Do y'all, this is our, whose history is this? This is our book. God is speaking to us.
Right.
And he's telling you, obey me, or this is your punishment. We going through that even to this current day. Food, hunger, clothes. We don't own none of these stores. That's why in our stores, that's why we have high cancer rates, high cholesterol and health issues, because they don't care about the quality of food that they're giving you. Your enemy is not gonna care. Would you let your enemy cook for you? If you knew somebody hated you, would you let them make your breakfast? No. But that's what's going on. We don't have no power over that. They hate us. But that's why, guess what? We get old and sisters is not going to the grave with their whole body parts. They go into the grave with an amputated arm, amputated leg because of diabetes and things of that nature.
Right.
Because guess what? Our enemies don't care what they do to us. And one of all things, toilet paper, driver's license, your vehicle, the hair you got, the hat you got, your education, even God. We had to learn it from them. That's why they didn't teach us Jesus was black. Did y'all know that? You knew that, my brother? You didn't know. You didn't know. Come on, Brandon, man. I feel like I need you to participate with me, man. I need to make sure that I got to hear and understand that you're getting this, because I don't want you to leave.
I understand what you're saying, and I respect you for your beliefs, everything like that. Everybody's got their own beliefs.
Okay.
You stopped me, and I want to check it out, see what you guys preaching about, everything like that. I respect you guys for what you're
Okay. Well, I got a question. Anything I read out of here, read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon
That same enemy is going to put a yoke chain of iron
upon thy neck.
upon thy neck. upon thy neck, chains on our neck, chains on the natives' necks. This happened, yes? No? Did that happen in history, Brandon? Okay, God said that same enemy that's going to enslave you is, we're going to get 68 after this because I think that's going to drive it home. All praise.
So just to make a point in what you were saying, everybody has their own beliefs and so forth. We're reading the Bible, right? God says his chosen people would have yokes of iron on their necks.
Right.
That's not our own belief. That happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Just got to make that point. Come back.
Right. And that goes into, when you understand that the Bible is a real book, that's what goes into you actually having that fear of the Lord now. Because you can see, dang, God did this to me. This is my history. I'm going through it now. It fits. Everything fits. So read on.
Shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So until, that's the key point, that enemy, that same one we were sold to, the so-called white man in this land, we were sold to, he put chains on our neck and we served in slavery until we were destroyed as a people. Now, guess what? They don't gotta kill us like that. We do it. We put ourselves in prison for the most part, right? We glorify selling crack, shooting each other. We glorify single parent households whoring out our sisters and then just leaving them with a baby like it's nothing.
Right.
Hey, look, today sisters glorify that now. Sisters is down like I don't need no man. I don't need no man is saying that you're gonna jump from man to man to man to man.
Bring it out.
You're not looking to get married. Nowadays we destroy ourselves. We destroy our own children. We continue the cycle. He says until he has destroyed thee, that enemy would do that. Right? Read on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So that enemy came, he said he's gonna send them against us, and now he's telling you how. They're gonna come from far. What's that? All praise, okay, you look for it. All praise. They're gonna come from far. Read how far?
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flying.
From the end of the earth. Hey, guess what? A lot of us were in Africa at that time, right? They came all the way from the Americas and took us and brought us on ships back to Africa. They came all the way from Europe and took us from Africa and brought us on the ships. The Native Americans, they went to America from Europe and brought them back as slaves in Europe. They did those things. They came from far and said, as swift as what?
As swift as the eagle flying.
Guess what? That's a sign of what people would be doing that. There are nations of people on the earth, right? We're gonna call them the so-called white man. They got a whole bunch of different names: Spain, France, Italy, Germany, Britain, but it's all the same people, right? White people, right? Okay, guess what their symbol has been throughout all history? Eagle, Greek. Eagle, Rome. Eagle, Spain. Eagle, America. That's the national bird. You go to jail if you shoot one.
That's right.
The eagle came, as swift as the eagle, with flags of the eagle, came and did what?
A nations whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Were we speaking English or Spanish or Portuguese before they came and conquered us?
Make it plain.
We speak it now though, right? We understand their language, but they damn sure beat and murdered it into us. Same thing they did with their religion. Same thing that's why it's hard for a lot of our brothers and sisters to believe in the Bible today, because we learned it through their eyes. And one of all things, like we read earlier, he said they're gonna do what? What else they gonna do?
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
They don't care how old you are, how young you are. You in them fields working till you die. They had bones that they found of children in slavery where the cartilage on their bones was worn out. They said they had arthritis and ailments that you would find on 80, 70-year-old men, women. On children, they worked them to the bone, literally. Today, it happens today. I don't want to get to the controversy of it, but even with Bill Cosby, in his old age, they locked that brother up for 2 years in his old age. They was gonna leave him in there, and he got locked up basically on a technicality. It wasn't even like a legitimate conviction. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether y'all feel some type of way about that, I don't want to get off the point. But they don't care. This brother's getting out of prison now that served 40 years for murders they didn't commit. They getting out now, just now. Like, hey, they don't care. 68. So when he sent that nation against us, now, Brandon, you do agree with history though, right? Did not nations come against us with the flags of the eagle? Did they not come from far? Oh, here you go. The eagle has landed. Who's that?
us take different speculations throughout history in different time periods, different areas.
Hey, this is all. I'm gonna take you all the way there because I love history. I'm gonna take you all the way there. Now watch me. When they came from far with those, what did they come on? And what did they do to us?
What specific point are you talking about?
I mean, what? Or how did they captured us, right? Did they capture us on those ships?
So or so.
You like iffy, maybe?
No, because you have individuals that came to procure people to do labor for free, right? And you also have
That sounds like a fancy way of saying they can't enslave people.
100%.
All right.
I use the words that I was taught in school.
Nah, yeah, I got you. They trying not to teach. They trying to teach indentured servitude in school.
Came over,
But go ahead.
they took people, right? Against their will, 100%.
Right.
But then you also have natives to the area who said, "Oh, don't take me, I'll take them and give it to you."
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's history. Watch this. Before we get 68, we're going to jump to what happened right before that with the natives of the land, the Africans that I said we are not the same. Give me Joel 3.
Bring it
Watch
up.
this. We're about to show you that. It's in the Bible. The Bible, believe it or not, is a legit and the most accurate history book on the face of the earth. All history that's right is centered around this. Joel 3, start at verse 3.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people.
So they, no, start at 4, man.
Verse 4.
Watch this.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
So these are Africans today, Tyre and Zidonians, right? They're Africans, Canaanites, right? It says, "What are you to do with me, O Tyre?" So Most High saying, what you got to do with me, so-called Africans? Read.
And all the coast of Palestine,
In the so-called Middle Easterns, the Arabs, right? Read.
will ye render me a recompense?
Will you pay me back? Because they wanted, guess what? They wanted to afflict God because you can't touch God. What's the next best thing? We're going to touch his people, right? Read.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
So guess what? You think you're going to pay me back? I'm going to show you. I'm going to pay it back to you. So the Most High is prophesying there's going to be a judgment for the things they did to us. He's going to talk about it. What did they do to us? Read.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
So first thing they did, they robbed us.
Right.
They robbed us of all our ancient artifacts in history and treasures that the Most High God and our forefathers stored up for us. They robbed us of those things.
Right.
Africans, Arabs. This is going into the transatlantic and the sub-Saharan slave trade. Read.
The children also of Judah.
Woo, the children of Judah. That's the head tribe of. Come on, sis. Get out of the road so you don't get hit. Then you don't have to worry about that. All right, look. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. Yeah, you heard me. Look, hey, the word of God's filling you. You learned this. Hey, look. Judah, right? The tribe all of you are from. It said the children of Judah. That would be Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because these two tribes fell under this tribe as far as rulership. And all these tribes here fell under Ephraim as far as rulership. But he said the children of Judah
And the children of Jerusalem.
and the children of Jerusalem, that's the northern kingdom of Israel. That's all these other tribes. The 12 tribes of Israel, what did the African do to the 12 tribes of Israel?
Have ye sold?
Did what?
Have ye sold
They sold us to who?
unto the Grecians?
Unto the so-called white man
That's
in the
right.
transatlantic and sub-Saharan slave trade. That's what happened. You just said that. The Bible says it because it's history.
That's
it's
right.
in the Bible. How did, when they sold us, what happened? Deuteronomy 28:68. When they sold us, what happened? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Because that's part of the curses.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with
The
ships.
Lord's gonna bring you into Egypt again. If you know any history of the Bible, right? Moses brought the children of Israel out of slavery in Egypt, right? He parted the Red Sea and he freed them. The Lord is saying, I'm gonna bring you back into Egypt, back into slavery again. How?
With ships.
With ships. Transatlantic slave trade, cargo slave ships stuffed in the bottom of ships. History? Yes or no? Right. Okay, read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
You will not be able to return home as a nation. Now, guess what? We call ourselves Americans. We
Right.
call ourselves Puerto Ricans.
Right.
We call ourselves all these things, but we don't know where our homeland is. And if we did, we can't return there because another nation's living there calling themselves the children of Israel, the so-called Israelis. They live there now, and they also don't have an army to take a land back. Read.
and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
When you get off them ships, you will be what? So the African sold you to the white man for guns, right? And then when you got off those ships, the white man sold you for what?
Sold unto your enemies.
You will be sold unto your enemies. Did that happen? It sound like translated slave trade to me, right? Read.
For bond men and bond women,
For slave men and slave women. Read.
and no man shall buy you.
Nobody's gonna be able to redeem you, buy you out of slavery. Nobody's gonna be like, Master, can I get all my nation back? We didn't have no power, no might to do none of that. That happened to us. Give me Romans 8 and 16.
Bring it out.
So,
Bring it out.
go ahead.
So just to go back to that point, so you see both points of history in the Bible. When the indigenous people of Africa rounded us up and sold us to the Grecians, it mentions specifically, they sold Israelites to the Grecians. So another dark people sold another dark people. Not the same two people. Not the same people. Different people is what I want to say, right? Africans sold Israelites to the Grecians. And then the point he brought out, once we were sold to the Grecians, then they brought us here and we were sold, right, in this land. So the Bible mentions both. It covers both aspects of history. You understand that? Again, not our own opinion, not our own beliefs. Bible history backed up with facts.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And it's a multitude of books from the 1800s and back that we have that can prove these things even further. The Bible is a historian. True historians know that the biblical accounts throughout history are actual factual.
If you really look at real history, also being somebody who likes history, you also know that the original Bible wasn't actually found whole.
You said the original Bible wasn't actually found whole.
Now you have multiple religions, right?
Uh-huh.
Catholicism, etc.
Give me
like that. They were pieced together by hand.
He said it wasn't found whole. Like it was separate Dead Sea Scrolls.
There was pieces missing because the type of parchment paper they were using back in those days. Once it hit oxygen over a certain amount of time, it disintegrated paper.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you straight. All that sounds great. If you don't believe in God, that sounds like a very I'm assuming that's where you at. Maybe.
Nah, he was taught that.
You was taught that. You was taught that. You believe that wholeheartedly. Have you ever seen any of the scrolls? You ever carbon dated, tested any of the scrolls yourself?
It works actually in the Vatican.
Yes, sir.
Hey, watch. Isaiah 34. Watch this. Brandon, right? Watch this. Isaiah 34. Okay, you mentioned the Bible being in pieces and whatnot, right? Watch this.
Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Now, it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. It mentions singular, book, right? But it's gonna specify as we go on. Read on.
No one of these shall fail.
No one of these shall fail, meaning none of the prophecies shall fail. We read the children of Israel going to ships. That happened.
Right.
They would have yokes around their necks. That happened. You understand? That did not fail. It happened. Read on. So that means what? This book is spiritual. This is a real living book. You understand?
Right.
It's not just something that some Caucasian man came and just wrote. No. This book is spiritual. Read on.
None shall want her mate.
Meaning you can't make the Bible in any other book. Read on.
For my mouth it had commanded,
It says, for my mouth it hath commanded. Read on.
and his spirit it hath gathered them.
That's the key. My spirit have gathered them. My spirit gathered them. Those different records you mentioned, his spirit gathered them and compiled them into one book called the Bible today. That's why I said in verse 16 again from the top.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord.
You see that? So it mentioned book as singular, but it says later on his spirit gathered them. Right? Read on.
And read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
My spirit gathered them. Read on.
And he that cast the lot for them, and he that hath cast the lot for them.
He have cast a lot for them, meaning those different records. Okay, I want this book. I want that book. I want Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. Okay, so forth and so on. Read on.
And his hand hath divided it unto them by line.
You see that? His hand have divided it unto them by line. So meaning what? Isaiah had a piece of the puzzle. Jeremiah had a piece of the puzzle. Moses had a piece of the puzzle. Right? So forth and so on. So yeah, there's different prophets through different times. This is thousands of years of history. So you got, literally, you have ancient Egypt, thousands of years ago.
Right.
You got ancient Babylon, Persian and Mede, the
That's
Greco-Roman Empire. All this is hundreds, thousands of years of history. So yeah, it's not going to be compiled in one instance over, 10 minutes, for example. Yeah, so you are correct. It's different records throughout different time periods, but what? The Spirit of the Most High gathered it into one book. Okay? The King James 1611 Bible. Now, one of the things you mentioned, Catholicism and so forth, they do have that in the Catholic Bible. They have the Apocrypha in there. You heard of the Apocrypha before? Right. You heard of the Apocrypha before? You sure? What is it? You know what it is?
Is that one of the books that they took out of the Bible?
Right.
It's not supposed to be just like
Right. She said one of the books they took out. Now, somebody got theirs, so y'all get mine real quick. You got it? No, not that one. So he has it, right? This is a typical King James version you would buy in Walmart or whatever. Then this, right, they took out of it, right? When the King James originally was written, this was inside of it in 1611. They removed these records. But right, you can still buy the Bible with it in there. You see that? Now flip it to the back so they can see the cover. Right? Holy Bible, King James Version, and the...
it was my grandmother, and I still have it.
You still have it. Right. So those records are missing. Now, like I mentioned, those different captivities, you'll read about ancient Egypt, Babylon, Persia and Mede, and that's it. Right? The Apocrypha mentions the Greek history. Let's get it real quick so we can see it. First Maccabees 1:1. Let's get it just real quick.
And I can't think of other books about
Well, this particular book has 14 books contained in it, right? So it's not just the Apocrypha and it's from, huh?
I can't think of it. They actually saw heaven.
You saw heaven. Tomorrow, John the Revelator. Tomorrow, Enoch. Okay, the book of Enoch. Now that's the key, because we just read it out of Isaiah 34. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord," and then it mentioned, "My mouth commanded it, and my spirit gathered them." Right? When you read, not only going from 1611, when the Bible was translated in, even further back, the other English translations, the book of Enoch was never in there. So his spirit did not gather that book. That doesn't belong here.
Right.
You understand? Now, First Maccabees 1:1.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Alexander. Now, we remember a famous person in history called Alexander, right? Right. So what? Regis?
The Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians.
He smit Darius, kings of the Persians and Medes. So historically, you have Babylon, Persian and Mede Empire. Then Greece ruled after them. This is historical. It says he smitten them, meaning he took over their empire. Read on.
That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
This is the Bible. The Bible says Alexander ruled the first over Greece. Once again, that's not our opinion. Historical, right? Just like this is history. Now, give me verse 9 in the same book. What happened? What does the Bible describe? What's the conditions or the of the earth when Greece took over? Watch this, verse 9.
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Meaning when Alexander died, he had 4 generals he set up, right? They all put crowns on themselves. Go ahead.
So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth.
What did the Bible say?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
It says evils were multiplied in the earth when they began to take over. They tell us in school that civilization started with the Greeks, right? The Bible says no, evils were multiplied in the earth. You understand? So yeah, now guess what? So he's reading it. If y'all look, he's reading it out of the Bible. Now he had a separate book, same thing. That's why they have to take this stuff out. We got to take this out because we can't tell them history started with us and the Bible says evils started with us, basically, or evils multiplied. I said it like that. Evils multiplied with the Greeks coming into power.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't teach you that, this is Jesus, when the Bible says, no, evils were multiplied when they began to take over.
Right.
You understand? This is a history book here.
That's right.
This is not a game here. You got something else? We're going to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, all praise. Hey, we finna wrap it up. But this is what I want to leave you. Romans 8:16. This is what I want to leave you with. You do agree
that what we read was history as far as the transatlantic slave trade. All those things we read, they did take place, right? Do you also agree that the Bible is a very, very, very old book? Way before those things happened. But somehow, it prophesied, like Carrie's brought out, none of those prophecies failed. They did all happen.
Right.
That would drive me to be like, these prophecies in the Bible are true. Because all the ones that were written have come to pass, and the ones that haven't come to pass, I gotta believe they will, because I definitely know my people went into slavery. I know that we all these things happen to us and are happening to us today in this present time.
Right. That's
So,
right.
but it all boils down to this. Read.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with, the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit.
So this Bible, the spirit of this Bible, because it's a living book, like Cap brought out, it's a living book. It's gonna bear witness with our spirit. What?
That we are the children of God.
You're gonna hear the prophecies in the Bible, and you're gonna say, "This is talking about my people.
That's right.
This is talking about me."
Right.
If you're spiritual, you're gonna pick that up. You know what I'm saying? It might not happen today. It might happen because I used to be big on history and science and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But over time, the Bible's gonna weed all that out. It's gonna root it out your mind if you're spiritual.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.